the Western outlaws was Brown's Hole. And as the historian Charles Kelly remarked in his book Outlaw Trail, it was the toughest outlaw hideout in the West. It covered the corner where Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming join. Not only was the hole a natural fortress, but the outlaws who camped there were the scum of all the cow towns and gold diggings from Texas to Oregon.
We can't send a posse in there, Wyatt. We've tried it half a dozen times. There's only one way to catch Blackie Saunders. That's for a peace officer to go in there disguised as an outlaw. Now, if he's spunky enough...
No, sir, Wyatt can't go. We need him here in Dodge.
Mr. Mayor, he murdered a Wells Fargo guard.
And threatened to kill a woman and a small boy if he talked about it.
Nasty business. But Wyatt's chief deputy quit. And Sheriff Masterson is chasing bank robbers down in Texas.
You're treating this case like a political issue. This is murder and the threat of murder. Those people identified Saunders. Sorry to intrude, Marshal. I'll see if Bill Tillman or Charlie Bassett can help us out.
I'll walk you over to the hotel.
Now, Wyatt?
I'm just trying to be polite, Mr. Mayor.
I didn't come out here merely as a representative of Wells Fargo. We don't care about the money we lost or the mail that was stolen. But we're going to get that killer if it takes me 5 years to find somebody brave enough and angry enough to go in there and get him.
Well, I'll get Saunders, Mr. Calvin.
But I thought... I might have known how you'd really feel about it.
I didn't want to argue with Mayor Kelly. When word shouldn't get around that I'm making a long trip.
Of course.
You get me a railroad ticket to Rock Springs. I'll outfit there.
Will you need any help?
No. I know what Blackie Saunders looks like. I want to see that man on the gallows, and I won't rest easy until he does hang.
I'll get the ticket.
That outlaw trail ran from Robber's Roost in the south to Hole in the Wall up north. In the 70s and 80s, many a long rider with a price on his head and the shadow of the hangman's rope on his face joined other desperate men in what they called the last hideout.
There's fear in the air. Death is everywhere in the Badland. In the Badland. And white are the bones lost among the stones of the Badland. Of the Badland. They died who tried to find where the outlaws hide. In the Badland, the Badland, the last hideout of the outlaw band.
Now, who'd you be?
Tim Hardwick.
You carrying a gun?
No. I pawned it for some chow.
What are you doing up here?
Well, you might say I was trying to hide.
Looks like he's telling the truth. He better be. Come on, fella, let's go. This way. Nabbed him in the South Gully, Steve. Says his name is Tim Hardwick. New man in camp. Line up. Just the way we have to do things, fella.
Yeah.
Take a good close look at him. Any of you ever saw him wearing a star, just walk him off a couple of yards and shoot him. You got any other beef against him, let's hear it.
You ever been in Wichita?
I've been in a lot of places.
Oh, Yankee, ain't you?
What of it?
I don't like Yankees.
Oh! I said the war was over. Put it away.
You take that gun away from him, and I'll fight him.
We got as many Yanks as Southerners in this hideout. There are no arguments about the war. That's a rule.
Yes, sir.
Any of you recognize Mr. Hardwick?
I never seen him.
Lineup's over. You hungry?
Yeah, sure am.
Hey, Skittles.
Yeah?
Got another belly to fill.
Sure.
Go on. Rest yourself.
Well, thank you.
Where are you running from?
Oh? Several places.
Like a real long rider, you and your horse. We got a couple of rules if you aim to stay in camp.
Yes, sir?
We start playing cards or drinking, we check our guns.
Sounds like Dodge City.
Yeah. I heard about that fellow Earp's rule. You and him ever have any trouble?
Nope.
Go ahead, eat. Two more important rules. We don't quarrel with the small ranchers around the hole. They buy our cattle. And we keep away from Shotgun Gibbs.
Shotgun Gibbs.
Shotgun's a real peace-loving man. We stay away from him, he stays away from us. I had a run-in with Blackie about that. Oh, Blackie Saunders. You'll meet him.
Mr. Saunders and Mr. Gibbs, they have a run-in?
Wanted to. Blackie thought Shotgun was a stoolie. All Shotgun wants is to be let alone. And that's all we want, too. Shotgun don't give a hoot if we rustle every maverick on the Cherokee Trail.
Well, you won't have any trouble from me, Mr. Logan.
$10,000 reward for Tim Hardwick, who held up a Wells Fargo stage near Grand Junction, Colorado, May 27, 1879. Hardwick murdered the driver, wounded the shotgun messenger, and a man passenger. He also made off with a shipment of banknotes and a sack of U.S. mail. The reward will be paid for this man, dead or alive. J.T. Calvin, Vice President, Wells Fargo and Company. Stupid idiots. Blackie done it. He told me so himself. Well, better take this stuff back where you found it.
Well, maybe Hardwick found out Blackie done it. Maybe that's why he come here, huh?
That's between Hardwick and Blackie. You keep out of it. You hear me?
Sure, boss. Sure.
What are you on the run for? Picking pockets?
You better get out of camp.
I suppose you and Logan read the wanted poster, huh?
Boss won't do nothing about it, but Saunders might.
Such as?
Such as turning you in for the reward.
All right, I'm leaving.
If I was you, I'd give Shotgun Gibbs' place a wide circle. And, I want my gun back.
So I'll be a target for Saunders when he comes after me?
Whether you hunt Blackie or he hunts you is none of our business. We just don't allow no personal grudges in camp.
Sure.
Hunted men on the run, living by the gun in the Badland. In the Badland. Be fast on the draw, that's the only law of the Badland. Of the Badland.
Blackie, I got some news for you, and it's worth money.
I'm listening.
Come over here.
Can't you read?
Yeah, I can read, Mr. Gibbs.
Now, I'm a peaceable man. I love peace.
Oh?
But if I don't learn you, I'll have all creation a-riding in here. You any good with your fist?
Oh, pretty good.
Well, that's a relief. Because I sure hate to whip a man who can't put up a decent fight.
Wouldn't you like to talk a little bit first?
Nope. You're too darn fancy. Stand still, will you?
All right.
You're too darn good with your fists.
Now, why don't you just agree to a little conversation, huh?
I come out here to get away from talk. You go put on your guns.
Where are yours?
I'm gonna fetch it right now.
Good. Ain't you got a 45?
I like this. We'll shoot at my distance.
He turned off toward Shotgun's place.
I told Steve that shotgun couldn't be trusted. I bet he put Hardwick onto me. Come on, let's ride.
I'm taking unfair advantage, Mr. Gibbs. You can't do much damage at that distance with the shotgun.
You stay where you are. When I raise my gun, you start a firing.
You've had enough, Mr. Gibbs. Now, look, you want peace? I'm a peace officer. Don't you hear me? I'm a United States Deputy Marshal.
Let me see that pistol you shot me with. A 12-inch barrel.
It's a bunt line special. Hey, your shot almost blew my head off. What were you using?
It's a rifle slug. Hand-loaded into a Bryce case. It's my own invention. But it takes a British Greener shotgun to handle it. You could have killed me, but you didn't do it. That makes me beholden to you.
Well, you'll have a chance to get even, Mr. Gibbs. Here. Come on, I'll patch that arm up.
He's with Shotgun, all right. That's his horse at the gate.
Ah. Well, he can't stay in there forever. We just take our time and dry gulch him.
Wound's not too bad, Mr. Gibbs. Just broke the skin a little bit.
Well, I figure I'm a lot luckier than Blackie's gonna be when you meet up with him. Threatening to kill a woman and a boy. I know Blackie was a mean, but I thought he drawed the line somewheres.
Well, he didn't. So the law draw a line around his neck.
Blast it. A man like me can't find no peace, no place. Kansas City, Abilene, Amarillo, Denver. I tried them all.
Well, there's no peace without the law, Mr. Gibbs.
That means argument, force, shooting and killing.
Well, the law is force when you reason it out.
Well, shouldn't have to be that way.
No, sir, it shouldn't. But you just can't tell a fellow like Blackie Saunders not to rob and murder people. You gotta let him know that if he murders, that the law will...
That's my mule, Roscoe. He's better than a watchdog.
What's he trying to tell you?
People outside. And them rocks beyond my gate. Hold the greener for me, will you? My fingers are a mite still.
You sit down, Mr. Gibbs.
Huh?
It's probably Blackie Saunders and a fella called Skittles. They think I'm worth $10,000 to Wells Fargo. Is that your back door?
Yep. I'm going with you.
No, you stay here. Logan trusts you. You'll be a lot more use to me later.
To pay back?
With interest.
Something ain't right. That mule cuts loose, he usually brings shotgun outside.
Well, maybe Hardwick got him.
I should go back and get Steve and the boys.
You said they wouldn't help.
Well, I'll tell him... I'll tell him you think Hardwick's a Johnny Law. You know, he could be. That wanted poster could be a Wells Fargo trick.
Yeah? Well, what if it's on the level? We'd have to split the reward.
Use your brains. He's holed up in a little fort with plenty of guns and ammo. He's got plenty of food and water. Why, it'll take at least a dozen men to blast him out.
I don't know.
All right. Do it your way. I'm going back to camp.
Oh, Skittles, you ain't going no place. Halt! Halt!
Got that crease a mite deep, didn't you, Marshal? He's apt to be out a long time.
Afraid so.
You shouldn't have let Skittles get away. He's going to bring Logan and his boys down on us.
I had no warrant for Skittles, Mr. Gibbs. Last time I shot at a man on horseback, the horse reared. I killed him.
You regret that?
I'll regret it until the day I die.
Well, you're the first John Law I ever heard say anything like that.
Maybe I can move him away from here before Logan comes.
Yeah? What trail? Across the Red Desert?
Guess so.
Hang it all, there goes my piece again. No, sir, I ain't gonna let it go. I've been living and let live with them outlaws, and I intend to go right on doing the same thing. If Steve Logan comes here looking for you, you're gonna be on your own. I'm keeping my peace.
And then he shot Blackie in the back of the head. I run for my horse, and he yells, "Halt, halt," just like any John Law. Why, he even fired a warning shot at me. I tell you, he is a John Law.
You think he killed Shotgun Gibbs, too?
Why, sure he did. He probably pestered Gibbs for information and then shot him. The proof is, that old mule brayed his head off, but Shotgun didn't come out.
Well, we'll find out for ourselves. Saddle and ride.
You can't get away with this, Hardwick. If Wells Fargo named you for that job, that's your tough luck.
I should hang for what you did, huh?
Hey, what Johnny Law is going to come into this outlaw country after you? Could be maybe you won yourself. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? No peace officer would be that foolhardy.
A la shotgun. Looks like Steve didn't waste any time.
Stay where you are.
Get up, Roscoe. I see him. Get up now.
Peace. Huh. Steve Logan and his whole gang at my line fence out there. Oh. You know, I sure bless the day that I ever laid eyes on you.
Look, if you're going to make a fight for it, why don't you make it in here?
Why are you defending him, Shotgun?
Him? I'm defending myself and the peace I used to have around here.
You're sure a sight for sore eyes, Shotgun. We was afraid that Hardwick might have done in with you.
Hardwick? Saunders? Huh! You busting our agreement, Steve?
What do you mean?
The Brown's Hole boys was to stay out of my way.
It still goes.
Yeah? Blackie and Skittles there tried to bushwhack that fella right outside my gate.
Hardwick's a Johnny Law. I still say that...
Shut up. What do you know about the fellow, Shotgun?
He's an outlaw, the same as the rest of you. Claims he's being blamed for something Blackie did. But just as soon as Blackie's well, both of them are getting off my place. Now, Steve, you want to interfere with that?
No, we'll let Hardwick settle with Blackie. Sorry to have bothered you, Shotgun. Let's go.
You think you can make it to the railroad?
I'll do the best I can.
That won't be good enough. Got a lot of friends between here and Green River.
We're even, Mr. Gibbs.
Well, don't go and get yourself killed. I doubt if I'd fret much about it. But I might.
Peace be with you, Mr. Gibbs. Mr. Gibbs, what happened to you? You start feeling sorry for Blackie here?
Huh. How far are you taking him?
All the way to Dodge City.
He thinks.
Well, I just believe I'll ride along with you a spell, Marshal. Me and Roscoe here think that feller ought to be hanged. And we don't want no interruptions.
Kind of hate to see you lose your peace, but mighty happy to have you along.
Yeah? The law better find me some peace somewhere, somehow.
It will, Mr. Gibbs, someday. As Wyatt Earp's fame as a peace officer in Dodge City spread across the western country, men remembered that he was also a deputy U.S. Marshal. Thus, when his old friend Colonel Benteen of the 7th Cavalry at Fort Lewis, Colorado, found himself facing the problem of a mysterious killer who shot only from ambush, Colonel Benteen could think of but one solution.
Now, this is Robber's Roost on what they call the Outlaw Trail in Utah. All the killings have been done in this area here. Washington has ordered me to arrest the man. But the Apaches are threatening a breakout, and I just can't spare a detail right now, Wyatt. That's why I almost begged you to come out here. Oh, I know what you're thinking. All the victims have been outlaws or rustlers.
Yes, sir.
Well, the rustlers own small cattle spreads. They call themselves small ranchers. That's what the War Department calls them.
Well, even a rustler shouldn't be bushwhacked.
Well, I knew you'd see it that way. Now, if something isn't done, Washington will order me to take a full cavalry troop on a wild goose chase. Well, the Apaches would like nothing better.
Well, you're right, Colonel. You have any lead to the killer?
Well, just one. A fellow named Elsie Rash is chairman of the group who squawked to the department.
Is he a cattle thief?
Yeah, they all are. But Rash knows the country, and he's offered to act as guide. I think you can trust him.
Well, I owe you this, Colonel.
You don't really? But I'm glad you think so. Now, this killer is crazy as a coot. You'll be dealing with a madman so cunning he can terrorize tough outlaws. Watch yourself.
Thank you, sir.
The thief and the robber who live outside the law, dark are the deeds they've done. But black as a pit, and the foulest of them all is a coward who wears a money gun.
Hold it.
Keep your hands away from them guns. Johnny Law, huh? Anybody can steal a star.
I got a note for you, Mr. Rash. From Colonel Benteen.
Emma! Emma! My wife, she can read. Here's a letter. Read it.
He looks like a Johnny Law, Elsie. Fort Lewis, it says. Dear Mr. Rash, this'll introduce United States Marshal Wyatt Earp of Dodge City. Render him all possible assistance. Frederick Benteen, Colonel. Elsie, put down that rifle and mind your manners.
Oh, sure. Excuse me, Mr. Earp. I reckon I'm spooked.
Oh, everybody's spooked. Welcome, Marshal. Supper's almost ready.
Thank you.
Well, go ahead. I'll water your horse.
Thank you kindly.
So, we figure the man was hired to do it, Marshal. Oh, an outlaw with a grudge will dry gulch one or two, but this feller works for the wholesale. How many is it now, Elsie?
9, so far as we found.
You got any idea who hired him?
Why, the big cattlemen, of course. They got a grudge against us folks.
Oh, we round up a few mavericks now and then, sure. I won't lie to you. Boys run off a few head, use a hairbrush and iron.
All right, Mr. Rash, let's go.
At night?
Day and night. The fellow's got to sleep sometime.
Marshal's right. Elsie, move out.
I'm sleepy right now.
Here, Mr. Rash. You take one of these.
A pill? What for?
That pill's about equal to 10 cups of coffee. I've chased hoodlums for about 3 days and 3 nights without a wink of sleep.
Here, take it.
Oh, Emma.
Take it.
How about you, Mrs. Rash? Don't you have some neighbors that you can stay with?
There's plenty of guns right here, and I can use them.
I never worry about Emma, but we ain't likely to pick up no trail in the dark.
Well, I saw a man on horseback when I rode up.
Huh?
Where?
Right in back of your house. He rode off when I came in.
Well, no wonder you could take Blackie Saunders. Now, you do like Mr. Earp says, and don't come home without him.
She means if you get it, I get it. Mighty loving gal, Emma.
Now, Mr. Earp, Elsie's a good man in a fight. He just needs leading into it.
Well, we'll be careful, Mrs. Rash.
He lurks in the shadows with ever deadly aim, ready to shoot and run. And Satan himself could not bear the guilty shame of the coward who wears a money gun.
Well, his horse is tired, stumbling a lot. You know of any trail higher up?
I never heard of one.
Well, we'll just keep moseying along, following the trail.
For the money gun kills when your back is turned, and the money gun kills till its pay is earned. Any day, any night, there's no way you can fight the money gun.
How bad? Oh, I'll be all right, but you got my horse, too.
Here, you take my horse. I'm going home and patch that arm. Come back with another horse.
What'll you be doing?
I'm on a trailer. Here. I'll leave you Marcus. Try and get back by sunup.
Well, I'll do the best I can. Take it easy, boy. Take it easy.
How's your arm?
Oh, Mrs. doctored it. Burns right smart.
Well, he headed down there. Figure he's got about 2 hours on us.
Well, now, why would he go down into the valley? Ain't nothing down there but old man Glassford's place and bad water.
Mr. Glassford steal cattle?
Steal? Once in a while, sure.
Here, hold this. Keep on the trail, go ahead.
For the money gun kills when your back is turned, and the money gun kills till its pay is earned. Any day, any night, there's no way you can fight the money gun, the money gun, the money gun.
How long you think the old man's been dead?
Oh, about an hour. At least we're gaining on him.
Well, oughtn't we to bury him?
Later. You riding with the law, Elsie?
This is Marshal Wyatt Earp from Dodge.
Yeah?
Colonel Benteen sent him after the man we want. He got here too late for old man Glassford.
You always this late, Johnny Law? Not always.
He's the man that took Blackie Saunders.
What have you men been doing? Airing your ponies?
Mister, we've been hunting that skunk steady for a month. The boys will tell you, we ain't the only ones after him.
Sure we did.
Well, do me a favor, will you?
Just this one time.
Ride your boys back up into them hills. Raise dust along that side of the valley. If we can keep him down in the flats, Mr. Rash and I can run him down.
You vouching for the marshal, Elsie?
I sure am.
Boys, Mr. Earp wants us to keep that dry gulch out of them hills. Come on, let's ride. Come on, get, come on, yeah.
At the water hole?
Just a hunch. But I don't agree with you about leaving the horses. I hit him at least once.
I shouldn't have yelled a warning. Force of habit, I guess.
Oh, we can track him by the blood now. Let's see how bad you're hit.
No, I just scraped the rib a little bit. Look, he left his saddlebag. Let me look. Hey, he was a methodical man. Look, he kept a list of his killings. Notebook, Mitch Moyer's name on the front cover.
Him always said it was Moyer. Stuber, Glassford, Rash. Say, that's me. Say, I'm next after old man Glassford.
Yeah, we better make a fast ride back to your place.
But he's hit. Why don't we run him down now?
Mr. Rash, you can't risk getting your wife hurt.
Oh, Emma can shoot as good as me. You, Johnny Laws, you hadn't yelled, we could have cut him down. Now you're worried about Emma.
Look, I can't shoot a man without warning him. And I can't take a chance in getting your wife hurt. Come on.
You're the boss, I said.
Don't be such a baby. Tain't nothing but bear grease and balsam of Peru.
Thanks, ma'am. Which trail to Moyer's place?
You ain't aiming we should go there tonight.
No. Me. I want you to look after Mrs. Rash.
Ain't no need of that. I set 3 catamount traps and another one loaded for bear.
Emma's too spunky for her own good. Say, I just thought of something. If Callum heads this way with the boys, what'll I advise?
Callum?
He was a man leading the posse we met at old man Glassford's, Emma. The dry gulcher killed Glassford.
Oh, may the good Lord have mercy on his poor, wicked soul. Will Glassford, I mean.
You tell Callum and the boys to head for Moyer's place, huh?
Well,
They'll go, Marshal. You can depend on it.
Good, because I may need him.
This gun is for hire, 'tis evil merchandise, for sale to anyone. And death can be bought for a special bargain price from the coward who wears the money gun. Any day, any night, there's no way you can fight the money gun, the money gun, the money gun.
Who are you, mister?
My name's Earp. Wyatt Earp. United States Deputy Marshal.
What's your business?
I want to see Mr. Moyer. It's important.
The boss is sound asleep. Why don't you come back tomorrow?
No? You tell Mr. Moyer that I want him to explain something. Right now. There may be a warrant for murder.
You're barking up the wrong tree, mister.
All right. I'll get him up myself.
Elsie, it's way past bedtime. Why ain't you asleep?
I can't sleep. That pill Herb give me. It's him, all right. The bear trap got him.
Yep, the bear trap got him. Is the varmint dead?
Doctor. Give me a doctor.
You tell us who hired you or we won't get no doctor.
Say who? Say who?
Moyer.
Mitch Boyer, he said...
You won't need no doctor.
Oh, what does that notebook prove? I give him all my roundup hands when we have a cattle count? Could have been lost or somebody stole it.
Yes, sir. It sure could have been.
Names in that book, I know 'em all. Hoodlums and cattle thieves, every last one of them.
They were executed without trial, Mr. Moyer. Cut down from ambush.
That makes me very sad. Who you feeling sorry for, Earp? The Robbers Roost gang have been stealing from us ranchers for years. We've appealed to sheriffs and United States marshals, and not one single Johnny Law has had sand enough to move against them roosters.
Well, murder is still murder, Mr. Moyer. But, you say you had nothing to do with this, huh?
I resent these questions, Earp. I'm a respectable rancher.
Well, I still haven't caught the man that was hired.
I don't like your attitude. I think you better get off my property.
Johnny Law bothering you, Mr. Moyer?
Yes, he is, Kendall. I want him put off my property, and I want him kept off.
Yes, sir.
You know, you better be certain you had no hand in this, Mr. Moyer.
No, you'll be back with a posse, huh?
I think so.
Emma got him with a bear gun. He's in the wagon.
You sure that's the man?
Said Mitch Moyer hired him. Me and Emma was both witnesses.
We won't be needing you, Marshal. We can settle it with Moyer.
Mr. Callum, Mr. Rash, I think you're making a mistake.
You keep out of it, Johnny Law. In the showdown, you'll be on Moyer's side.
Well, I have the authority to deputize all you men.
Us? Johnny Laws?
To arrest Moyer, yes. But if you go down there to kill him, it'll be the big cattleman's turn.
For what?
Squawking to the government. They'll send in soldiers. Cavalry that should be watching the Apaches.
The marshal's right.
Moyer ain't gonna let nobody arrest him, Mr. Earp.
Oh, there'd be a fight, all right. But all I'm asking you men to do is to wound those cattlemen, not kill them. Now, you're all good enough with a gun that you can do that. You give me your word and I'll deputize you. But if you want a turkey shoot, you do it your way, but you suffer the consequences.
Elsie? Jeb?
All right, Mr. Earp. We'll do it your way. We'll just wing them.
All right? You're all deputized.
Hey, boss! Boss! Now what?
Them rooster men. A dozen of them. They got Bill Hicks dead in a wagon headed straight for here.
That Johnny Law with him?
I don't know, Mr. Moyer.
Better round up all hands.
Yes, sir.
All right, now I'm going to ride in there until Moyer's arrested. If he wants to fight, let him commence it. Understand?
That's far enough.
You're under arrest, Mr. Moyer.
No, I'm not.
You mean me and my deputies are going to have to take you?
That's right.
Well, don't try shooting me in the back, or you'll be cut down.
Hold it. We can whip Earp and his riffraff in the shootout. Go tell the boys.
Mr. Callum, you and two of your men follow me on horseback. Rest of you men spread out. Surround them. Mr. Rash, you come with me. Let's go.
shoot too good. Now. Hold it.
Mr. Ash, tell Mr. Callan to stop fighting.
Jim! Jim, hold your fire! It's all over! Will you stop shooting?
Mr. Moyer, you're coming to Fort Lewis with me.
You'll have a fight on your hands every 3 miles of the way when the other outfits get together.
No fight. Unless you agree to that, I'll turn you over to Jeb Callum.
I've surrendered to Marshal Earp.
Too bad. I sure hate to miss your hanging.
Hello, Mr. Moyer.
Well, a federal jury will give Moyer at least 5 years. It'll establish the rule that you can't bushwhack even rustlers without paying for it. Thank you, Marshal. Good luck.
Good luck to you, Colonel. If the Apaches cut loose, you may need it.
For a grave at the end of the trail for the mighty gun.
And a U.S. Marshal brought to Wyatt Earp a personal challenge. Later on in his career, men nearer and dearer to Wyatt were to be killed or wounded. But not since the slaying of his friend, Mr. Brother, had Wyatt been so emotionally involved. It did not make for clear thinking.
Family will blame me. Letting Cousin Nate go alone into that hoodlum camp. I know that Circle Diamond outfit. They never drive here. Enough killers in that outfit that any honest peace officer would fill his jail with them.
Take it easy, Wyatt.
Easy.
I read that telegram, too. All it said is that the man who done it left Mobeedy riding a horse with a Circle Diamond brand.
Well, you didn't read this one? Eck Thomas. He's a marshal in Oklahoma Territory. I trust him as much as I do Tillman or Masterson. Read it.
Well, all he says is that the Circle Diamond is a driving in the Mobeedy neighborhood.
Well, that's enough for me.
To do what?
I aim to hire on to the Circle Diamond outfit. It's a saddle train. The man who got Cousin Nate belongs to the Circle Diamond outfit, and I intend to get him.
You ain't using your head now, Wyatt.
Oh, you got a better idea?
Any idea'd be an improvement on that of yours. Let me try this job.
Why?
Well, to commence with, nobody'd spot me. And to end with, I've been a cowhand.
Well, I can do anything a member of the Circle Diamond outfit can do. Thank you just the same, Mr. Gibbs.
Well, let me go with you then.
No, sir. You and that shotgun, I gotta stay here and keep the lid on.
All right, but take an hour to think this over, will you? I've drove with them Texas outfits. If somebody don't recognize you the first day, they'll work you to death in a week.
1 hour. Take me that long to get my gear together. You're in charge here, partner. I'm heading for North Texas. Going back to heaven, Mr. Gibbs.
When they're on a drive, they don't even take time to bury a cowhand.
What's going on here?
Couple of them blasted Circle Diamond riders. They don't want us crossing in front of their cattle drive. They started bushwhacking us. Who are you, mister?
Just a cowhand looking for work.
The Circle Diamond will be short a couple of waddies real soon.
Well, you boys ain't gonna get very far with that wagon shooting at a lot of men from a big outfit. You better just cool off and let me have a little talk with him.
Stranger wants to powwow. Hold your fire.
You a Johnny Law?
Oh, just visiting from Alabama.
Well, they started at Bama. We asked them polite-like to take the Red River Trail.
Them freighters has always got something sticking out of the side of their wagon that'll spook a herd.
Well, there's 4 of them, 2 of you. Appears like you, lost your temper. Hey, what's wrong with the Red River Trail?
It's flooded out 10 miles north.
Oh. You fellas know that?
Don't reckon we did.
You better ride back and tell your boss about it. Hey, the fair is still running at the bend. Crossed on at sunup.
Yeah. I guess it'd be smart to point for the bend. You any objection to that?
No, sir. We're scouting the herd. That's our job.
No harm done. Thanks, fella.
So long.
Pull up, Emma. You looking for work?
Well, come to think of it, my grub is running mighty low.
Wonder if Cork would hire him on. Why don't you ride back with us and find out?
Yeah, that might be a good idea at that. I'll get my horse.
We'll get ours.
Well, how about that?
Now the blasted river's flooded on us. What a drive. Herd spread out for 20 miles. The front rider just now tells me about the river, and them tail-end Charlies lost out in the brush. I'm gonna get tough, Sam. Nobody sleeps till that herd closes up. They eat in the saddle. They're gonna act like drivers, or I'm gonna bust a couple of jaws. Now, you tell them that, Sam.
Yes, sir, Mr. Conkle.
Cookie, make up 100 trail rations, and don't take all day.
Not a chance. I need help.
Hey, you. Ain't you the fellow Ring and Saunders brought in?
Yes, sir. I could sure use a job.
Well, you got one. Go help Cookie.
Well, Mr. Corkle, I'm a cowhand. I never figured that
You
I'd...
help Cookie. We'll find out later if you're a cowhand.
Come on, you tramp. Get these sandwiches wrapped up. We ain't got all day. Hurry up. You're so good at, mister, you wrap 'em. You give me any more sass and I'll stick a knife in your ribs.
You've been raw at me for a couple hours now. Usually when a fella threatens to knife me, I'll slap him around a little bit.
Oh, you do, huh?
No more yapping at me. Hey, what are you doing to Cookie? What's going on?
Take your hands off me, mister.
I'll fix him.
Let's put that knife down.
Cookie threatened to cut you?
He tried it.
Well, you ought to know you got to be patient with cooks.
Not when they threaten me with a knife, mister.
Well, then you can get out of this outfit. Or you can ride tail end Charlie.
I told you, Mr. Corkle, I'm a cowhand.
No tail end Charlie for you, huh?
I didn't say that, Mr. Corkle. I'll make a hand for you wherever you want me.
What's your name?
Jimmy Jones, nickname Bama.
Fine, Bama. I need anything to ride a horse. You mosey south to the tail end of the herd, report to Jumbo. You find him and Red and Turk there in the dust somewhere.
Yes, sir.
40 a month in grub. As long as you last.
I'll last.
Might as well tell you that Jumbo and them others are about the meanest bunch of scum you'll find on the trail.
Most tail-end Charlies are pretty mean, ain't they?
Not like these boys, no. The only reason I keep them eating dirt is because that none of my flankers or lead men will work with them. You any good with a gun?
Fairly good.
Take care of yourself.
The miner dies for gold, the nester dies for land. But what have we got to die for on the trail? The biggest fool of all is an old cowhand, turning to dust out on the dusty trail.
Your name Jumbo?
No, it ain't. You'll find him back yonder.
Your name Jumbo?
Yeah?
Corporal said I should report to you.
You reported?
My name's Jones, nicknamed Bama.
That there's a sticker. You got a slicer in your saddlebag?
Recollect I have.
Get it.
Oh!
Yeah.
Looks like a throwing knife.
Yeah, it could be. Yours is a lot better for slicing beef, I'll tell you that. Hand me that bread there, will you? 5 days old and moldy. That's the way Tim Corkle treats us, though.
Yeah, he acted kind of like he didn't like you.
Oh, he thinks he's a poker player. Me and Turk and Red, we cleaned out the last big game. We'll eat later. Yeah, and Buffalo Waller's just full of mavericks. You know, Bama, you ain't sweaty enough or dirty enough. We'll fix that.
You know, I bet Corkle did send us some grub.
How you mean, Red?
Well, it's just mighty odd, this Greener. He rides in here straight from camp, and he ain't even got a pound of coffee with him.
Yeah, that's right.
Meaning you think I stole it?
Turk, take a look in his saddlebags.
Hold it. You go take a look, mister.
That's the way you want it?
Now you can go get it.
Turn him loose.
Go ahead. You hadn't ought to be wearing a gun, Turk.
Blast him, Red!
You move and I'll crease your skull real deep.
That's enough, Bama. Now you can whip them with fists and guns. They both know it. Now you sit down somewhere and cool off. We got a long night ahead of us.
I ain't a greener, Jumbo. I ain't a thief either.
Apologize to Bama. Both of you.
Sorry.
You.
Yeah, sorry.
All right.
It's enough time for grub. Let's move out. I guess you got most of them back to the herd. You better go back and join Red and Turk, huh?
Right.
Oh! I'm hit! Get him! It's just my shoulder. That was Corkle. Get after him.
You're bleeding too bad. Lie back down there.
Oh.
Let me get a tourniquet on this. I'll get you over in the shade. Here, drink some of it. U.S. Marshal cousin of mine was killed in Mobiti with a knife like this. You know anything about it?
Ain't my knife. I won in a poker game. Some fella went broke and threw it in instead of a $2 ante.
You didn't see who?
No, it could have been anybody. Could have been Turk. Or it could have been Corkle.
Why Corkle?
You're Johnny Law, ain't you?
Yeah.
It figures. Yeah, Corkle knew that Red and Turk wouldn't say anything, so he took a shot at me.
Corkle does a little mail and stagecoach robbing on the side?
I told you he's a rotten poker player. And every once in a while he comes up with a new bankroll. I'm going after Corkle.
No.
Huh?
I want to show down with the others first.
Oh, you're wasting your time, Marshal Earp.
How'd you know my name?
I saw you in Wichita, year before last.
Corkle know who I am?
Well, yeah, he's there in Wichita with me.
Why didn't he just bushwhack me and get it over with?
Oh, he figures he can get you some other time. He wants to scare off Red and Turk. That's why he took a shot at me.
Truth?
What else? I could have shot you in the back a dozen times.
Why didn't you?
I don't like Corkle.
All right. Now, when we meet up with Red and Turk, you let me do the talking here.
You want to do all the fighting, too?
No, you got a good arm. You got a 45.
Thanks.
Let's go.
Where you been? The herd's gained 2 miles on us.
Somebody took a shot at Jumbo.
You see the skunk?
No.
Well, if it's rustlers, we better close up on the herd.
Yeah, then we'll have the flank riders to help us. This ain't no place to be making a fight.
Well, it's as good as any. Now, you climb down off your horses and watch your hands.
Who is this Bama?
Go on, get off your horses. Stand right up there, gentlemen. Turn around. All right, I want some answers, and I want them quick. Jumbo says he won this knife in a poker game. You ever see it before?
No.
I get it. You're a Johnny Law.
Can you throw a knife?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Keep them covered. Now, I want you to back off. But I want you to throw their sticker at me. Because I'm going to be starting this one your way, mister.
No, wait. You can throw a knife.
I never thrown at nobody.
You're a liar, Turk.
All right, Red, let's start with you. What about Corkle and mail robberies?
You ask Corkle.
Yeah, we're wasting time. They ain't gonna talk.
All right, Turk. Turn around. Put your hands behind you. Back up here. Throw me that rope, Jumbo.
Yeah.
There. And the two of you start walking in any direction. I don't think Corkle will let you get too far.
We ain't scared.
Corkle knows us.
Yeah, and he knew Jumbo, but he took a shot at him. Now you start walking and thinking.
Bama, you figure Corkle's gonna raise the debate?
Well, if you don't, maybe they'll decide to talk. We'll ride off in the brush and keep them in sight. Here, let me have the reins. You got enough to do with one arm.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Lassiter! Lassiter! Cookie, where's Lassiter?
He's over by the river.
Well, where's Sam, then?
He's under the table, sleeping.
Hey, Sam! Come on, wake up! Get out of there!
Just nap for a second, boss.
Take 3 men and go out and relieve them tail-end Charlies. Tell Jumbo and the others to report back here on the double.
Well, they're doing all right back there, Mr. Corkle.
I got a better job for them. They're gonna lead across the river.
Well, not today. Old Red's full from bank to bank. Nobody can cross that river and live.
They can and will. Go on, get going.
Yes, sir.
See if you can get these ropes loose.
Listen, that Johnny Law's just trying to break our nerve. Corkle wouldn't try bushwhacking us so close to the other boys.
He tried it on Jumbo.
Well, we ain't Jumbo.
I don't know, Red. That Moby killing was stupid. Look, we're easy marks out there. Let's stay down here in the draw.
You help yourself. I'm following the herd.
It ain't gonna work. Corkle's too smart.
How close is the herd?
About a half-mile ahead. There's a few stragglers right over there.
Let's close up.
Corkle and 3 others.
I guess it is Corkle. They're moving around slow and hunting.
Well, you can stay here and get yourself shot, not even buried. I want to give myself up.
No, wait. Don't be a fool. Wait!
Johnny Lodge! Johnny Lodge, Jumbo! I'll talk! Johnny Lodge, Jumbo! I'll talk!
All right. You hold him here. I'll go see if that is Corkle.
Well, watch yourself.
Where's the rest of you, Bama?
Red and Turk are in the draw yonder there. Hunting for dogies. Jumbo's over there somewhere. What's up?
Corkle wants you back in camp. But if I was you, Bama, I'd just head south and keep on riding.
Why?
Corkle aims to send you across the river. It's 12 feet deep and 500 yards wide.
Oh, I reckon we can make it. I'll go round up the others.
Well, it ain't our day to drown. Come on, let's move 'em. Yeah.
Where's Jumbo?
He lit out.
Where?
That way, towards camp. Was that Corkle?
No, it's just our relief. Corkle wants us back in camp.
Why, you yellow-bellied skunk, I told you so.
Corkle still loves us. We're gonna drive the herd across the Red River.
No bushwhacking. Just a nice drowning. We made a deal when we told you about Mobili. That still hold?
Right.
Well, then let's move.
Lift 'em, Earp. I figured you might balk at the river crossing. Well, you're gonna cross the big river, along with Jumbo.
I went back to camp to try to kill him, but he made it easy for me. Grandma, how are you going to square me for shooting Corkle?
Well, he murdered my cousin, tried to murder me. Officially, you came to the assistance of a peace officer.
Oh, now, do you have to say I helped a Johnny Law? I'd never lived down a thing like that.
Well, all right. Just hang instead.
Well, disgrace and all, I'd rather live.
Well, thank you, Jumbo. Just saved the state of Kansas $50. Price of hanging and burial.
Yeah, it's good, tough thinking. You know, it's a shame you went straight. You'd have made the orneriest hoodlum that ever lived.
Thank you, sir.
right, let's move.
What has he got to live for on the trail?
Come on.
Was the most dangerous. It was not a crime confined to hoodlums or fly-by-night cattle spreads. Many of the biggest cattlemen of the day were involved. To Marshal Wyatt Earp, a rustler was a rustler, big or small, and this belief plunged him into the notorious Rep Cantwell case. Dodge City erupted in bitter words and deadly gunfights.
All the drinks are on me, boys. 2,000 head and a rough trail, but they're all fat and sassy.
Good job. Yeah, break it right up.
Mr. Cantwell?
Oh, howdy, Marshal. Take a chair and I'll buy you the best milk in the house.
Mr. Cantwell, I'd like to see you alone in the back room, if I may.
Oh, some of my boys in trouble? Well, here, I'll bail them out.
No, sir.
I can't wait? No. Well, excuse me, gentlemen.
You was sure a good family, though. I'll tell you the all free. Come on, drink it out.
Well, what have they done?
Mr. Cantwell, I have a warrant for your arrest.
What?
5 members of the Cattlemen's Association have accused you of rustling.
You calling me a rustler?
Well, sir, I caught 2 of your boys just outside of town with warm irons.
Why, you...
Look, I want to do this quietly.
Who named against me? Just name them.
Your lawyer can read the complaint. I want you to walk over to Judge Tobin's office and post your bond.
Me accused of rustling. There's going to be some fighting about this. I'll find out who signed against me.
The boss is in trouble, ma'am.
Mr. Cantwell in trouble?
There's talk that Earp and Shotgun Gibbs jumped one of his wagons outside of Dodge. And there's also talk he's been accused of rustling.
Smiley, that's absurd.
You reckon Mel Danaher here signed a complaint or something?
Mr. Danaher? Oh, he wouldn't do a thing like that. Just because he and Mr. Cantwell have been... Is Mr. Danaher in town?
Well, here at the Dodge House, ma'am.
I'll look into it.
Well, would you do it quick, ma'am? Some of us Bar Q boys are getting a mite edgy.
Here's bail for myself and my men. Now, can I see the names on that complaint?
Please, Judge. Not until he's formally arraigned.
Why it really means we want you to cool off, Rep.
Cool off. I'll get the names. I warned you there'd be shooting about this.
There will be shooting. Why can't you ease up on this thing?
5 men signed the complaint, Jim.
Old Rep stole a few mavericks in his day like a lot of other cattlemen I know.
The law says it's a felony, Mr. Mayor.
Sure, but the men accusing him, they've rustled stock same as him.
Well, the Cattlemen's Association had the law passed. Now, if they don't want their members treated the same as hoodlums, then they should have the law repealed.
You want shooting in the streets over this?
I agree with Wyatt. Those ranchers will lynch a little rustler. When the truth hits them, they threaten gunplay. I think the question of who's a cattle thief should be settled in open court.
I can't understand why you did it. You and Rep have been my dearest friends since Dave was killed. Why, Mel?
Because you're going to marry Rep.
He hasn't asked me.
He will.
Not now. Not with this rustling business to contend with. You've put your brand on stray cattle, and so have those men who signed the complaint with you.
Well, it's done now.
Well, you can go to Judge Tobin and withdraw the complaint.
Big-hearted Mel.
You were jealous, and I'm flattered, Mel. But Rep and his boys will go to shooting.
All right, let him. Emily, he's no good. I stopped those sharp tricks years ago, and Rep's kept right on. I ain't much better.
Mel, you've got Rep all wrong. His foreman and his cowhands do the stealing. He's too easy with them.
He sure is.
He sent me some steers after the drought wiped me out last summer, and half of them had doctored brands. Do you think Rep would do a thing like that? He just told his foreman to lend me so many head, and the boys palmed off the Russell steers.
All right. I'll talk to the judge.
Thanks, Mel.
You and the judge are just a-heading for needless trouble there.
How's that, Mr. Gibbs?
Well, there's maybe 50,000 head of cattle driving towards the railroad. I ain't never seen a cow outfit yet that didn't steal a lost dogie or put its own brand on a maverick.
Well, you missed the point.
I reckon I do.
Judge Tobin and I think the law against rustling is too severe. Now, by enforcing it against the big fellas, maybe we can show them all up as hypocrites.
Yeah, and show me up, too.
You're a rustler?
Well, you see, I found Roscoe on the prairie when he was just a colt. He'd been brush branded, but I knowed the hair'd grow out and cover it up.
Why, Mr. Gibbs.
When I got my side of it, too. If I hadn't have found Roscoe, he'd have died in the next blizzard. But strictly speaking, I'm a rustler.
Mr. Gibbs, your secret is safe with me.
That ain't funny, what? Rustling's a fighting word. Mayor Kelly's plumb right. You ought to drop that case again, Cantwell.
Now, don't start anything, and don't take any name-calling either. And leave Mel Danaher to me. I have an idea his name is on that complaint. Stop it! Get down there.
Nick, run get McCarty. How'd this happen?
Tony Josh Buck about being a rustler.
Mel, Tony Levitt and the bar Q hand just shot it out. Both hit. Put on your gun belt, Mel. Them bar Qers are after us.
I was gonna drop charges.
Too late now. Shooting's commenced.
Take him on over to the jail. I'm going to see Judge Tobin.
Move along. You, say you disarmed most of them?
Rep Cantwell, Mel Danaher are still out gunning for each other.
Danaher? He's one of the men who signed the complaint, isn't he?
Yes, sir. And he got the 4 others to sign it, too. They'll be here tonight.
Wyatt, maybe we bit off more than we can chew.
Well, you can't back down now, Judge. I'll try and find Cantwell and Danaher. If we put them in jail for gun toting, their men may quit fighting, I hope.
You hope.
Well, I told you, didn't I? If you'd listened to me, I'd have got to the heart of the shindy.
Heart?
The widow Morrison.
What's she got to do with it?
Rep and Mel have both been courting. Rep won out. So Mel cooked up this stupid rustling complaint. She's over at the Dodge Hotel. You better go over there and talk to her quick. She might be able to stop this quarrel. But the first thing we got to do is dismiss this case against Rep.
I don't know.
You do that and you'll have your cowhands thinking they can scare the court.
Oh, come off your high horse, Wyatt. This is just plain stubbornness, and you know it.
Mr. Kelly, you want my star again?
Now, gentlemen.
Fine time to talk about turning in your star. Danaher's waiting for his friends, and they'll take Cantwell and the whole town apart.
Well, I'm tucking in my shirt tail. You tuck in yours, Mr. Mayor.
Wyatt thinks I'm just a politician, but I'm trying to use a little common sense.
I know, Jim, I know. I've got to give him a chance to restore law and order.
How long you figure on giving him, Judge?
Not long. Till tomorrow.
Too long, believe me.
I said until tomorrow.
And Mel was going to call it off until some of his men got hurt. He promised me he would.
Mel Danaher started the trouble.
Well, where is he now?
Out on the trail somewhere, looking for more friends to help him make more fight. Yeah, they'll come back with guns, Emily. Well, I told you about Mel and his black Irish temper.
Rep, listen. Please go out to my place and wait there.
I won't run.
It won't be running. With my men and what's left of yours, we can put up an even fight if we have to.
Thanks, honey, but I don't drag you into a fight. I can hire some guns, make it even.
More shooting. No, Rep, please. Yes, who is it?
Marshal Earp, ma'am.
Just a minute. He mustn't find you here. Go through the bedroom and down the fire ladder. Rep, you do as I say.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, I wasn't quite dressed.
That's quite all right, ma'am.
What can I do for you, Marshal?
Oh, I don't know. Mayor Kelly seems to think that you can stop the row between Mr. Cantwell and Mr. Danaher.
I tried to do that. Didn't work.
Oh, what went wrong?
One of Mel's men called one of Rep's men a rustler. Then the guns went off. But the chief trouble is that you and Judge Tobin insist on prosecuting Rep.
Mrs. Morris and I had a veterinarian take a look at the Santa Fe pens. He claims that Mr. Cantwell's herd has been brand tampered.
Well, what herd hasn't? Come down and check my cattle. By your standard, you think I was a rustler, too.
I sure wish you'd have another talk with Mr. Danaher.
He's out on the trail somewhere, waiting for the other hypocrites who signed that complaint.
Would you know where?
No, Mr. Earp. Even if I could find Mel, he wouldn't listen.
Well, I guess I'll just have to try and have a hand at it myself. Sorry to have bothered you.
Sure. You're sorry. You men, Rep out hiring gunfighters, and Mel's coming in with fresh guns.
I didn't pass the rustling law. It's just my job to try and enforce it.
Then why don't you arrest your own chief deputy?
Mr. Gibbs?
Mr. Gibbs. Rep said his mule was hair-branded as a colt. Why don't you ask Mr. Gibbs point blank?
Well, I kind of think it'd be more point blank to try and find Mr. Danaher and arrest him before more shooting starts. But if you want to swear out a complaint against Mr. Gibbs, I'll serve the warrant.
And try to get the evidence?
What do you mean?
Kill the poor animal, skin him, and see if the hair brand shows on the inner side?
I don't think that'd be necessary. If Mr. Gibbs is guilty, I'm sure he'd admit it.
I doubt that very much. But why are we wasting time? All I want now is for you to find Mel and put him where he can't continue this fight.
Well, I'll do my best, ma'am.
We're in trouble.
What went wrong?
Rep and his boys got tetchy. They started shooting.
Well, so can we. Johnny? Yeah? Back to the tavern. Round up a dozen good hands with a gun.
Right. I got a hunch Herb is out looking for me. We better hold up right here till morning.
Mr. Gibbs, you and the day patrol turn in. Things won't pop until daylight. I'll just make camp here in the office, White. It's only a couple of hours till sunup.
How did Danaher give us the slip?
Well, maybe he didn't want to have a shootout with Cantwell. Still got him charged with rustling, you know.
Rep's lady friend may charge you with stealing Roscoe.
Why, sure. Better get the gallows ready.
I don't like it, Emily.
I know. You'd rather fight it out with guns.
But stealing a mule and threatening to...
All right, then stay here. I've already told Rance what to do. If it doesn't work, you can still have your gunfight with Mel. And if you live, you'll go to jail for rustling.
Emily.
Goodbye, Rep.
Dear Marshal Earp, unless you dismiss charges against Rep by noon today, I will prove your chief deputy is a rustler. I hate to kill an innocent animal, but the lives of men are more important than beasts. Emily Morrison. Emily Morrison. Roscoe.
Shotgun!
You tell Judge Tobin to postpone Cantwell's hearing. I'm on my way to the Morrison Ranch.
Ain't that Shotgun Gibbs?
It sure is. I wonder where he's heading. It's mighty strange for Herb to send him away from Dodge right now.
Hold it, boss. Who's that, yonder?
Well, I'll be. That's Earp himself.
Earp might have sent Shotgun. He wouldn't leave. Hey, Rip, Cantwell up for hearing at 10 o'clock?
Uh-huh. Rep must have jumped his bail. He skun out on us.
That's the trail to Mrs. Morrison's.
Yeah. Maybe we'll catch him there. Come on.
Oh. Howdy, Mr. Gibbs.
I come from a mule.
He's in the barn. Go get him.
I ain't aiming to kill any of your hounds now. You go get him.
Oh, no.
Too bad, lady. Been a lot of talk in Dodge lately about Brandon. Maybe you ought to be branded.
You wouldn't dare.
I want my mule, and I want him without having to kill any humans. Now, you better go fetch him.
I don't bluff that easy, Mr. Gibbs. I told Marshal Earp what he'd have to do.
Well, I ain't gonna go along with that. And I ain't bluffing.
Put that down. I'll scream and my men'll...
Hold it. Mr. Gibbs, you're under arrest.
He threatened to burn me with that thing.
What'd you expect? He was to be mighty fond of that animal. Have your men go get him.
It's Mel Danaher.
Come on.
Where's Cantwell, Earp?
He's in Dodge City waiting for you.
You're a liar.
And you're jailbait. Lift him.
That's far enough. All right. Throw your guns right out of here, all of you. Come on. You two, come on. Throw out here.
My Still under arrest?
Yep. Trespassing on private property, threatening Mrs. Morrison with bodily harm.
Can't even look for Roscoe?
No.
The boss is bringing him.
Roscoe!
Here's your dear friend. I still say Gibbs is a rustler, but I couldn't do what I'd have to prove it. Well, we've won, Mel. The judge will send Rep to prison. I hate you. I hate all of you. And that goes for you double, Mr. Wyatt Earp.
Well, ma'am, I'm kind of used to being hated.
Mrs. Morrison has refused to press charges against Mr. Gibbs. In the case of Mr. Cantwell, charged with cattle rustling, all the complaining witnesses have refused to testify. Mr. Cantwell, however, has agreed to surrender 31 head of doubtfully branded steers. They will be sold for charity. Any comments, Marshal Earp?
Only this, Your Honor. I think the present law against cattle rustling is bad. Under the present law, a small cattle thief is hanged, while the big one becomes a respectable member of the Cattlemen's Association.
I agree with you. Your remarks will be put into the official record. Court's adjourned.
Here. If you're quitting, at least I want Roscoe to have a decent bridle. I think he's a friend of mine.
You ain't got a lick of sense making friends with that lawman. Lucky for you, they ain't got a prison for mutants. That there feller, he'd arrest you for kicking at a fire barrel. Hold on there, Sonny. Be sure you check that gun pronto.
Among the friends who invariably got Wyatt Earp into trouble was Ned Buntline, popular author of dime novels about the western frontier. Mr. Buntline admired Wyatt to the point of idolatry. This was a pleasant, if embarrassing, attitude, and Wyatt's sense of humor enabled him to forgive mild bragging by the writer. But when Buntline made Wyatt the hero of a new yarn entitled King of the Frontier... Morning, Mayor Kelly.
Wyatt, have you seen this? Have you seen this now?
Let's see. King of the Frontier by Ned Buntline. Buntline sure turns him out, doesn't he?
Yeah, but that's your picture. He's made you the hero. You're king of the frontier.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's got you bulldogging steers. He's got you riding a loco bronc, winning a horse race, and a chuck wagon race, and that ain't all.
Oh, what else do I do?
You shoot it out with a man at 100 yards. He uses a rifle, and you use your buntline.
Well, who gets killed?
The man with the Winchester. You should sue him. He's made a plumb fool out of you. And worse than that, you deliberately kill a man.
Just keep your shirt on, Mayor Kelly. Buntline's readers know him by now, and if any of them ask me about it, I'll swear I didn't do it.
What?
Cross my heart.
And little did Tex, the killer, realize what he must face. But he had never seen the awesome Buntline special.
All right, all right.
This weapon was more than a match for Tex's Winchester at any range up to 500 yards.
Mr. Gibbs?
Oh, 500 yards?
Look, at first I thought it was funny. Now I'm getting a mite riled.
I don't blame you. Why don't you see the feller that wrote it?
Because it's not worth the trip east.
Won't have to go east. One line's over at the Dodge house. Just rode into town with a lazy Q.
Speaking of the devil.
And a little bit of breakfast, too.
Right,
Eh?
boss, right.
There you are, Miles.
You're good company, Ned. And you sure put Wyatt Earp on the spot.
Wyatt? Why, he's a very dear friend of mine. As a matter of fact, as soon as we have a little spot of breakfast, I shall go over and pay him a visit.
Now, he ain't as good as you say he is.
Now, Miles, you're my host. I came out here to see a cattle drive firsthand, but I won't hear a word against Wyatt. Everything I wrote about him is gospel truth.
Ah, you can't do half the things you got him doing in that book.
You want to bet?
Sure.
$5,000.
Piker?
All right, $10,000.
What if Earp backs down?
Wyatt is not a man to evade a challenge. If he backs down, I pay you the $10,000 anyway.
You got a bet.
Ah. Well, Wyatt, my friend. Well, you were a sight for sore eyes.
Howdy, Mr. Buntline. Good to see you.
Well, you still carrying the buntline special?
You know it, best gun in the West.
Oh, say, I'm out here visiting Miles Brick of the Lazy Q. You know him, don't you?
Sure.
Well, come on over and sit a while with us. You had breakfast?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, here, Miles, here's the king himself.
King, sit down and rest yourself.
Well, thank you, Mr. Brick, but I haven't got time. I see, Mr. Buntline, that everybody's read your new book.
We just made a little bet on you, Marshal.
Bet? Well, I hope you didn't take any.
Take any? I took all of it, $10,000.
You can have the same, Earp.
Mr. Buntline, I'd like to speak to you for a few minutes when you get finished, in my office.
Sure, Wyatt. Oh, have you made a bad bet?
And you let Breck one-swallow you into a sucker bet, huh?
But why? You can do all the things I wrote about in the book.
Mr. Buntline, I have enough trouble with this job. Now, you expect me to risk my neck trying to live up to what you write in the book?
You're right. You're absolutely right. I'll pay off.
What do you mean, pay off?
Well, I should have consulted with you. I agreed with him that if you backed out, I'd pay him the $10,000 anyway.
Oh, no. Have you got it?
My dear sir, are you implying that for one moment I would... Well, I haven't got all of it, but I think I can get an advance from my publisher.
Wait a minute. You say all I have to do is beat the Lazy Q outfit in these cowhand stunts, huh?
Yeah, just what I wrote in the book.
All right, I'll try it. I don't want Miles Breck getting away with something like this.
No, now forget it. I was wrong, and I'm going to pay off.
You pay off nothing. You tell Breck I'll tackle his best man on each stunt.
Well, that's spoken like the real Wyatt Earp, the king of the frontier. Ha ha!
The Lazy Q's are a bragging there's been 10,000 bet on you. Everything that idiot wrote in that book you got to make good?
Just the cowhand stunts.
Can you rope and tie a calf or bulldog a steer?
Well, my brothers and I played around with them back in Illinois.
How about riding a loco bronc?
Well, I could get my neck busted. Look, Mr. Buntline cornered me. Now, if I back out of this childish nonsense, all the cowhands will start taking pot shots at me. Won't the men of this country ever grow up?
Most of them, in time. But there's one thing that's already growed up in them.
Yeah?
Courage, Wyatt. A man can be backwards and stupid out here, but he's got to be brave.
Firmly. Earp's gonna shoot against a Winchester at 100 yards?
That's something Ned forgot. Sort of a surprise for the finish.
Earp'd be a fool to do it, boss. And Earp sure ain't no fool.
Man does many foolish things when he's cornered. All right, let's get that herd started for Dodge.
Just made some fresh coffee. Want some?
Right.
Up there's a tame calf they want you to rope. Call a foul and make 'em get a wild one.
No.
You loading the dice, Miles?
He sure is. A tame calf can dodge a rope all day long.
If I can't think faster than a calf, I better quit right now.
seconds. Good boy, Wyatt. Come on, your turn, Miles.
We concede on the calf. Hey, Ricky, get set for the bulldogging.
Wonderful, Wyatt. Did you hear me? 16 seconds?
I heard you.
Would you like to pay off now?
Mexico, get aboard that cayuse.
Stay off him, you're still ahead.
Well, I never knew such ferocious horses existed.
All right, we'll call it a tie.
No. Take the twitch off him.
He's gonna pull and stomp you.
Take that bridle off him.
You've got to put him in the chute first. And what's wrong with that bridle?
Horses don't like spade bits. I'll do it myself.
Here.
Split a horse's tongue with that. Mr. Gibbs, get that bucket of water over there, will you?
Right.
But Wyatt, you don't really mean to ride that horse, do you?
I've called it a tie.
All right, let him down. Let him down. Come in and grab this here. All right, bite him. That's enough. All right, hold him. Hold him.
Square now, Wyatt. Did you give that bucking horse opium?
No, sir.
Well, then, how did you tame him?
Well, sir, actually, a horse is not too difficult to tame. Just about do anything you ask him to if you're patient with him. I took the bridle off that bronc, gave him his head, and well, it confused him, so he just decided to do nothing.
Well, then you did tame him.
No, sir. See, a horse pulls a buggy or lets you ride him because that's what he's trained to do. He doesn't know his own strength. Now, you take that mule over there.
You mean Mr. Gibbs' animal, the one he calls Roscoe?
Mm-hmm. Now, a mule is certainly just as intelligent as a horse.
Yeah, well, now, Roscoe's tame, and he's obedient, and he works cheerfully. I'll bet you he does.
Well, let's ask Mr. Gibbs. Mr. Gibbs?
Huh? Oh, ready in a minute, why?
Now, I want you to explain to Mr. Buntline here why Roscoe there works for you.
Now, he is tame and loyal, isn't he?
This mule? He knows if he don't work, he don't eat. He ain't got much use for me, but he knows the next boss might be meaner. Now, Wyatt's horse, he don't even know that much. I've seen him shy at a piece of paper and try to run smack into a barbed wire fence.
Well, if I told my readers that.
Time for the race. I don't think you've ever driven a chuck wagon, and I aim to prove it for $10,000.
Oh, now, why don't you give up, huh?
Get it on the line, Earp.
Well, at least this is the last of it. Now, no more bets, Mr. Buntline.
Oh, never again, Wyatt, I swear. Well, I'm going down to the finish line, and good luck. Good luck to you.
What's so difficult about racing chuck wagons?
Well, they ain't balanced. Turn over mighty easy.
Anything else?
Yeah. You can't call no fouls.
You mean Breck's driver can sideswipe me?
Well, that's why I put Roscoe on the near side. Because he can bump and he can bite.
Yeah. Now you watch your temper.
And you let Roscoe do the thinking. He ain't been putting no books, but he's drugged chuck wagons through lots of races.
All right, get on your marks.
Wait a minute. Don't...
Get set.
Ready?
I've done that on purpose. It's that mule.
Your driver tried to break Roscoe's leg.
Now listen, this is a race, not a fight. Now shut up and race. Come on, boys, pull that wheel over here.
Why don't you watch that old mule? I don't know whether it's him or you.
You hear that, Roscoe? He's kind of an ornery fella, ain't he, huh?
Come on, get him. All right, are you all free?
Pull the back end out a little more.
Come on, boys. Are you free?
Yeah.
All right, now.
I've had enough. I quit. Give me a gun. I'll fix that mule.
You ain't gonna fix nothing. You just sit there and hush up.
Mr. Gibbs?
Yes, sir.
Take Roscoe and my horse over the stable. Scared? Your man quit and he showed good sense.
Well, Wyatt, technically we could say that we won this event. I mean, at least we didn't lose it. We could... Well, you quit first, you know. Wyatt, they quit first.
Earp's ahead so far, but he ain't won the shootout.
The shootout?
Yeah, don't you remember your own book? Here. It says right here, Earp shoots it out with his buntline special against a man with a Winchester at 100 yards.
Oh, now, we didn't include that. That was only...
Everything you've got Earp doing in this book's included, or you pay me an extra $5,000.
Now, Wyatt has already risked his life to save me money. Now, I won't ask him to fight a duel.
If you feel that way, $15,000.
All right. I can only raise 10 now.
I'll take your IOU.
Don't pay him, Mr. Buntline.
He expects Wyatt to fight a duel against a man with a Winchester. Now, there are limits, you know.
Don't pay him. Not until I talk to Wyatt first.
No. Now, here's $8,600. I'll give you my note for the rest.
I'm holding the stakes until I talk to Wyatt. You got any objection?
No. All I want Wyatt Earp to do is to come to taw with that buntline special.
And I can hand-load some cartridges with more powder and a heavier bullet. I'd bet on you myself.
Well, I don't understand, Mr. Gibbs. You said it was nonsense at the start.
Well, I kind of underestimated you a mite on them cowhand stunts.
Well, shooting at a man is a lot different than bulldogging a steer.
Well, I can tell you one thing. You're going to have to do it or kill several men to save your reputation. Take that buntline special. You ever think about how many men are scared of it? It's like my shotgun over there. I'm supposed to be able to hit a man at 500 yards. And they know my 10-gauge slug puts such a big hole in a man that there ain't no doctor can save him. Consequently, I ain't had to shoot very often.
Well, it's the betting angle, Mr. Gibbs.
Well, you don't have to kill a feller. Ain't but one main fault you got. There just ain't enough Roscoe in you. I'll pay Brecky's money.
No, you're right.
I am? Just this once?
It's childish, this shootout business. It's just the trouble. Most hoodlums are childish. If I back down from that lazy Q outfit, it'd be just like you say. I have to shoot a lot of grown-up brats. I quit my job. You insist on one thing with Mr. Breck. You tell him I want to shoot line on my belly. His man can do the same.
How come?
Because I'm not Mr. Buntline's king of the frontier. If I'm going to shoot at 100 yards, I want to use my two hands to steady the gun. And also be a smaller target for the rifle.
Well, I don't know about that now. In the book here, it says that you stood against the skyline and shot it out.
Stupid, silly book. Now, Breck's man and I aren't going to be shooting blank cartridges. You going to make the deal or not?
You say, boss. You could do it like the book says, though.
Let him have it his way, boss. Laying down on my stomach is better for me.
I know, but the book says...
All right, you shoot the Winchester.
Relax. Tell Earp we agree.
All right, Mr. Gibbs. 100 yards. Start pacing it off.
Right.
Take your time and make that first shot count.
Don't worry, boss. I'll get him.
Wyatt, there's a law against dueling in Kansas.
Mr. Gormley threatened to kill me on sight. Wrote me a little note. Take a look yonder. I'm in sight.
Now, Wyatt, please, don't do it. I can pay Breck off.
I'm not doing it to save you a bet, Mr. Buntline.
Then why?
Well, you should know that, Mr. Mayor. Any Johnny Law that backs down on a threat has to give up his star. Now, you gentlemen are in the line of fire. Move on.
I'll fire one shot. Ready, commands.
Right. I'm set.
to get out of here?
Yeah.
Cut him down, Wyatt!
Here you are, Mr. Buntline. 2 cartridges left. Want to try your hand?
Oh, Wyatt, I...
I'm sorry, Mr. Buntline. I shouldn't have said that to a friend.
Historians have written a great deal of nonsense about the women of the western frontier in the 1870s. Except for Indian raids, they were supposedly protected by noble and chivalrous white men. Actually, the pioneer woman was in continual danger from frontier bullies and hoodlums who joined the migration toward the far west. The story of Martha Hildreth is a classic example of what it meant to be a pioneer woman.
Hey, Marshal. Mr. Yeah, Mr. Bryce, what can I do for you?
Some renegades jumped a freight wagon outfit on the New Mexico trace. Killed a man and his wife before Jed Carney could chase them off.
Who's Carney?
He's the boss of the freighters.
Where'd it happen?
About 30 miles west, in the cave country along the Arkansas, a place called Rocky Meadow.
Well, I'll ride out there, Mr. Bryce.
Carney and his men acted kind of strange, like they didn't want to talk about it.
Thank you. I'll keep an eye open for him.
Really look around for her now. She couldn't be far. She can tell the law on us.
You ain't worried about that. All you want's that girl. Why don't you use your head for once, Carney? You shoot me, and how long will you last? I stay awake while you sleep, remember? That stagecoach driver we met today has probably blabbered his mouth to the first John Law he met.
That gal's a witness. She could get us hung, Swede.
Well, she's probably either killed herself or froze to death by now.
Yeah, maybe you're right. All right. Come on back, man. We're gonna hit the trail. That's good, men. Bring the wagon over. We'll burn it here to hide the graves.
One break we got, Jed. No brands on their horses.
All right, hustle that wagon over.
Rider coming, Jed.
And you fellas Jed Carney?
I am.
Yeah, I'm Wyatt Earp, Marshal of Dodge City. Stage driver said you, had a little trouble out here.
We didn't. A couple from Ohio by the name of Hildreth got jumped about a quarter of a mile behind my wagon train. Hoodlums murdered both of them. Some of us rode back here. Our freighter's just down around the bend.
Well, I'll have to make a report. That fire over yonder looks right comfortable.
Oh, why, sure.
My posse won't be here for about a half hour or so.
What'd you bring a posse for?
Why, Mr. Earp has to chase them murdering scum. Come on over and squat a while. We'll tell you all we know.
Thank you.
And the team was played out. Hildreth was scared there was Indians up ahead, so we let him tag us. But he couldn't keep up. And we didn't have any horses to lend him. Well, that's just about it. We gave him a decent burial. Drug their wagon over there to mark the graves.
Yeah, I see. The killer's headed south, huh?
Let's cross the river to make off. From the tracks, I'd say there were 6 or 8 of them.
We'll pick up the trail. I know you fellas want to be moving along again.
Yeah, it's almost sunup. Well, good luck, Marshal. Sure hope you catch him.
We'll catch him.
We ought to take him now.
No. If he has got a posse following him, we're not strong enough to fight him. And we can't outrun him with these freight horses.
To Martha.
There goes Earp trailing that girl. We should have shot him.
Yeah, you're right. Me and Earp is following that girl by himself. Now we'll double back and follow him. You drivers unhitch your lead horses and follow as soon as you can. The rest of you mount up.
Martha Hildreth?
You get away!
I'm Marshal Wyatt Earp from Dodge City. I've come to help you.
No, go away! Don't you touch me!
Just take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
No! No!
I'm a peace officer. You see that star?
It's a trick.
Now listen, Miss Hildreth. Jed Carney and his
I
men.
won't say anything.
Miss Hildreth, your parents.
Hold it, sweet. Get behind the rocks or we'll smoke him out.
Carney, he's still after you. Now, it was Jed Carney and his men, wasn't it?
No!
All right. Here, take that and keep quiet. It's better than a knife to defend yourself with.
A lot of caves in there. Which one?
We'll rush them all.
Come on out, Earp! You haven't got a chance! Jed, in here! Hold it. Hold your fire.
Shoot, they got Carney.
This is Carney. Did he do it?
All right, I'm coming out. Carney's coming first.
Walden! Stop shooting! Stop shooting!
Hold your fire. Scatter and trail him. We can get Jed back. Go on.
All right, go pick him up. One wrong move out of you, and I'll put a deeper crease in that skull. Go on.
him down there. Right there.
Now patch him up. Then bring him in. I'll wait for you inside. I don't aim to be bushwhacked. Two of Connie's men. You ever see him before?
No. No!
All right. Now, moving out of here, Mr. Connie. You're going to be first, and they're going to be right behind you.
It's a long walk to Dodge, Herb. You can't stay awake that many hours.
And maybe Miss Martha will take turns watching out for your pals.
Her? She's scared out of her wits. You better stay that way, too.
Miss Martha, they murdered your folks.
Did we?
No.
You keep on saying that. And don't be trusting that Johnny Law. He's just a man, just like us.
All right, pick him up. I said help him outside.
Oh. You're leaving me here?
You have a gun. You stay here in the cave, Miss Martha. They'll be hunting me, not you. All right, move. I said move!
You really aim to walk us all the way to Dodge, Herb?
Not yet. We're going to visit two graves first. Move.
All right, you two men get the blankets back of that wagon. Cover up the bodies. Come on. Mr. Carney, you shot Mr. Hildreth. Mrs. Hildreth stabbed herself while the girl was making her escape.
Oh, sure.
All right, back of the wagon. Come on, move. All right, now turn that wagon over. I said turn it over. Wrap him up. Now, I don't know why you boys want to hang for Connie and Olson. It was their idea.
Button up, both of you.
What we told the stage driver was gospel truth.
Now, move over here. Put your hands behind you.
Drink lots of coffee, Herb. Olson and the boys are gonna move in as soon as it gets dark.
Maybe I ought to give Ollie a lantern, so you don't get hurt by mistake.
There's the girl riding Herb's horse.
Oh.
We'll kill Herb and take that girl alive.
Smart. I told you to wait in the cave.
6 or 8 men over there. I think they belong to him.
Get down. Get behind the wagon. They spot you?
I don't know. I couldn't be sure.
You'll wait until after dark.
You feel better, Miss Martha?
A little. That's close enough.
Smart gal. She don't trust him or nobody.
I should kill all of you.
Only 5 shots in that gun. What about those men yonder?
You'd be dead and I could use your guns.
Start shooting.
Mama and Papa. Where are they?
Carney murdered him, don't you remember?
Tell him, it don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Sun's almost down. Olson and the boys will be moving in.
He thinks you're talking to a dead Johnny Law.
You should all be dead, every man in this horrible wilderness.
Miss Martha, I didn't kill your folks. And I'm trying to help you now.
And I should trust you?
You better really watch him.
That's enough out of you, Connie. Miss Martha, you're my only witness against Connie. Now, it's my job to see that they all hang. If you don't think there's any difference between me and them, you take a look behind my horse.
Mama? Papa? No, not now.
Miss Martha, my chief deputy has standing orders to trail me with a posse if I don't get back to Dodge within a reasonable amount of time. That means I left Dodge about an hour ago. But Carney's men will move in before they get here. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, if they move in, I'm going to have to shoot to kill. I'm fairly fast, but I may not be fast enough.
Then kill me first.
No, Miss Martha, I want you to live. And I want you to testify in court. They did kill your mother and father, didn't they?
Yes.
All right. Now, I want you to tell me what happened.
I don't remember.
Bright girl. You stick to that and you'll live.
I warned you, Connie.
Oh. He deserved it. God forgive me, but he deserved it. He pretended to be our friend. We were stalled near the river crossing when he came along. We were supposed to meet an Iowa wagon train across the river. But our horses were tired out and we got stuck in the sand. Then Mr. Carney and his friend, the one he calls Olson.
Trouble, folks? Yes, sir. We should have tested the sand first.
Well, that don't look so bad. You boys each grab a wheel, will you? You ladies just stand clear, will you? Sweet, give me a hand up front. All right, let's go! You just fall in behind the last wagon, Mr. Hildreth. We'll look after you.
We'll be grateful, Mr. Carney.
Let's roll!
Mother didn't trust Carney, but Papa said we had no choice. We were heading into Indian country. We tried to keep up with the freight wagons, but our horses couldn't do it. Papa figured we were only a little way behind. He said if any Indians appeared, he could fire his rifle in the air and Mr. Carney would come and help us. Instead...
Martha! Tonight! Run! Run, Martha! Go! Run! Run, Martha!
Finish him off.
I should have tried to help Mama, but she kept screaming for me to run across the river to the caves. It's better to stay and fight. I know that now.
Not really, not in your case. They would have gotten away without punishment.
We'll get away, Herb.
It'll soon be dark. They'll be coming in. Come on, you get down here behind this wagon. Stay there.
I'll use your shotgun. I can hit something with this.
No, it's loaded with buckshot. Just good for the last rush. Here. Now, I'm paid to do this. You, let me earn my keep, huh?
Give the others time to close the circle. We've got a move in point blank.
Yeah. Miss Martha, I want you to reload for me. You open the gate, use this rod to eject the bullet. Like that. You take your bullet, put it back in your cylinder, twist it around, reload. That's close enough. I'll shoot the first man that moves. Here. Take your time. Don't rush it. Reload. Don't worry about it.
Turn it loose, sir. Ross has already been hit.
It's too bad. There are 3 of them left over there, 2 over there. You watch those 2 over there. I'm going to work my way around the wagon. It's too dark to shoot. Here, load that. Give me the bunt line. Use the shotgun if you have to.
Herb's down. Move in.
You all right?
I guess so.
Come on, you yellow bellies, rush him!
He says rush him. What do you say?
Well, we gotta try it. Carney will know who spooked out on him.
I'm not going to take any risk, Connie. You call him off.
Or else you'll shoot me in the back.
That's right. Both barrels.
Well, you head for the wagon. I'll try to draw his fire by dodging around in front.
He's got us! Stop shooting! Drop your guns and come on in! You hear me?
Must have threatened to kill Carney and the others.
Yeah. Carney must have spooked himself.
All right, down on your knees. Down on your knees. Keep your hands up in the air. You men check out there and see if there's any survivors left.
Sure didn't leave much for us, did you?
They were almost getting to be more than I could handle, Mr. Gibbs. Miss Hildreth, this is my chief deputy.
Howdy, ma'am.
I'm glad to know there's more than one policeman in the state of Kansas.
Sit down and relax yourself.
Tell me one thing.
Yes?
Would you really have shot Mr. Carney if he hadn't called off the fight?
Well, Miss Martha, the law has to be just as tough as any scattering of hoodlums on any frontier. I'd have shot him.
So would I.
You learned your first lesson as a pioneer woman. You have faith that the majority of men are decent. And they are. Just in case you keep a .45 and a shotgun.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. Oh, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his long may his story be told.